are such things? Well, I surveyed all of the English reported crop circles since 2001, looking for diamond-shaped formations with equilateral crosses in them, and these were the only 12. These were the dozen that satisfied that, and if you think that some of them are not quite good enough, it just makes the case stronger. Because those 12, divided by the 768 formations reported during that time, gives you 1.6%. That's the probability, if this is a random thing, that's the probability that the next one is going to be like that. You get 3 in a row, well, the probability of that is 1.6% of 1.6% of 1.6%, which is 0002%, which is statistically highly significant. Meaning this was not a random thing. Something explains this. It doesn't happen just randomly. So here's an event you're familiar with that is more probable than what we're talking about. You shuffle the cards, you pull out the 4 aces in a row. That happens much more often than getting 3 in a row with 1.6% probability of those events. So we know about this kind of thing. People get shot and things like that when this happens in a poker game. You couldn't have done that, you're cheating. Something has to explain it. But we can build on this result. What we have here is statistical evidence now that whatever the crop circles are, they can be responsive to human attention. That is the explanatory thing that went on here. We can conclude this. They're responsive to our attention. They come from something beyond us because we don't know how to do these things. They carry information. And if there's information in these, there's probably information in the other ones. How many of them have there been? 10,000 or so. How many get reported in the New York Times? Well, 0. What are we doing to ourselves? We're putting blinders on. This is a very interesting thing. You look back and say, what can we deduce from some of these? Now the interesting thing in this over here looks like kind of a messy photograph, but that's inside of a crop circle where the crop is all laid down, but the weed is not. How do you do that with a board? Over here, this cookie cutter stamp in the one field put the impression in that field, but how come it's not over here right next door? What happened? Well, this is a different DNA than that. This is wheat and that's barley. So they're doing this through DNA. They're tuning into the DNA. That's why the weeds are sticking up. That's not wheat. That's something else. Now, just using logic here, if you're some drunks at the pub and you just had a few too many pints and so you stumble out in the dark and you make this, that looks to me like something meaningful. I don't know what it means, but it looks maybe like some foreign language of some kind. And I don't know, but it doesn't look to me like it's a prank. And these little 3 balls here, these are, they're very pure metallic balls of a purity that we cannot match in our own labs, and they're magnetic. The pranksters are not going to put stuff like that under these patterns in the soil. It makes no sense. Looking at the stalks themselves, the normal ones are straight, but in the crop circles, they bend at the nodes. Sometimes they blow out at the nodes, indicating there was some kind of energy there that turned some sap into steam and then it blew out. So these are not mechanical things. The seeds that are taken from the crops that are affected by these crop circles act in a different way than your normal seeds. If you get it from a formation that was late in the season and you sprout them, they grow 40% faster than the normal seeds. But if the formation was early in the season, before the seeds set and everything, they die and they don't germinate at all. So there are effects on this. And I think if I were interested in agriculture, as we all should be, because that's what we eat, anything that makes the plants grow 40% faster ought to be something you look at instead of just putting blinders on about it. There's something going on here. This is an interesting one. Why would you just come into a field, maybe you're a prankster, and put in the molecule for melatonin? Why would you do that? I mean, that's what it is. So it suggested to Pam and me that we better start looking into melatonin and things like that. What we find is that there's cancer pockets around cell towers. Melatonin production declines with age. What's it for? Oh, it's to make you go to sleep. Well, it's deeper than that. Melatonin is the night crew that comes in and sweeps up the free radicals during the night so that you don't get cancers and all these other things. Well, if you don't produce the melatonin, the free radicals build up and we get sick and we've got a sick society. I'm not saying it's all due to that, but it certainly can't help. So, and how many radio frequency towers we have, the cell phone towers, we are living in a soup of this radio frequency. And I would advise you to take melatonin supplements on a daily basis because of that. We can't easily live inside of Faraday cages or whatever and separate ourselves from this radio frequency. So why would anybody be telling us this if it's not, for example, the clue that would help us do a little better? This is an interesting little formation from 1990. It took the experts a long time to decode it, and finally linguists decoded it. It's in post-Augustan Latin. It says, we are opposed to cunning and deceit. There's that cunning and deceit again. Why does this keep coming up? And then this is a communication too. All that stuff that we went over in halftone print format. This is iconic communication. So we got Latin, we've got icons, we've got halftones. And this one here, this is in CD format, ASCII coding, the TV screen, the 60 line screen image. It's new to TV towers. This is the exact decoding of that. This one occurred during the conference that Pam and I spoke to about some of these things this last June. Right during the conference, boom, there it is. What's this one? I looked at that as a Boy Scout and said, I'll bet you. Da, dit, da, 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 dit, da, dit, dit, da, da. What's it? No More War. Showed up on D-Day. Just last month, southern Germany. This is a formation that occurred in Raisting in Bavaria. The very interesting formations are not occurring only in southern England anymore. They're spreading out. And very interesting conversation about why that might be. We have some speculations. But to me, intuitively, it doesn't look like that's a real one. I mean, it doesn't mean something. So if it had been in southern England, we would have sent one of our energy crews there to get the water, get the energy, get the essence, read it. But we didn't have anybody. In Germany, it's spreading out. So we thought, well, who do we know? And we had a couple of customers in North Germany, up in Hamburg, who were in touch with us. And we saw that thing, and I said, well, any way you can go down there, just get the energy for us? And they said, it's more than 8 hours. We've got 4 kids, school starting. But they wanted to, and so Petra here is a Reiki 2 master, and she said, well, let me try to access the energy remotely. All time is now, everywhere's here, why not? Okay, in that other non-ordinary reality, which is really probably more ordinary than our other reality. And so what she did was she accessed that energy remotely. She took water from the Glastonbury chalice well, put it in its basin, reproduced the image of that in that basin, and allowed the energy to be remembered remotely. And at the same time, they looked for some friends down in southern Germany, down in Bavaria. They found a couple that were able to go into the formation itself, and the farmer was courteous about it and let them come in. They did it in the way that we instructed them, and we got 2 bottles. One bottle energized remotely, and the other bottle energized on site. And then I was able to dowse remotely, as you all can do, the energy levels on the Bova scale for these, and they turned out to be identical energy patterns. So we combined those together. And that essence was then decoded through the Akashic Records by Angel Rosacredi, and it named itself Aurum. I don't know what that means. A-U-R-I-M. And over there on that table right over there, those the ones that are sitting on the glass right over there, those are Aurum. And this map over here on the wall I want to draw your attention to, because I've got a task for you related to how this was decoded and what it means. So when Angel read this energy, she found this. This is how we are to use it. Put 7 drops of the essence onto an image of a country that is in chaos to bring forth intellectual understanding and change perceptions and beliefs. This essence transmutes the dark energies of war-torn places into a positive place that glows with the brilliance of the sun, making the place a true solar plexus center that looks like a sun or a sunflower. It was created by a group of spiritual beings, a collective of different races, I like this part, who orchestrate governmental bodies and planets. Their goal is to harmonize Earth governments, so they can work in harmony with each other. That's why they're here. That's why they put it there. This is the clue. This is what we are to follow, in my understanding. And that wall map is part of this. She's saying right here, put 7 drops on the map. The map's on the wall and the drops fall off, but we've dealt with this. But this is interesting. This is Petra. I shared this with Petra, and she said, oh my goodness, after accessing the energy remotely, I saw nearly the same thing that Angel saw in the Akashic Records, but I saw that we could use a map and put the crop circle symbol in little pictures on every country of the earth where there's presently a war or crisis. Our realization from the circle's energy supports Angel's reading that was done by a group of beings. This is wonderful. I strongly felt, and still do, 3 beings from the central sun and a Pleiadian. Slightly different variations of the same message. But it seems like what we have here is what Angel calls a symbol code for peace. And we have put these on the little circular stickers over there on that table over there. And they're right on that end of that table over there. And when you get a chance during the break or whatever, I want you to go over there, and we've already put the drops on those sheets because they drop off the vertical map. So the sheets are already impregnated with the energy from the Aurum essence. I want you to go over when you get a chance, pull off one of those little circular symbol codes for peace. Look at the map. I've got a list there of 60-some wars going on right now. If you run out of places, I can't think of any war. Well, there's a list, you know. Pick one out and put your intention for peace into that symbol. Put that symbol in that trouble spot on the world. And in so doing, according to the guidance that we're getting here, we may have a positive impact on peace. Maybe a little bit more than sending a few more drones over or something. So this is the practice here. There's the symbol code. We will put that out there and just have fun doing it. I'm running out of time right now, but there is a interesting little thing I can play for you if you'd like to hear it later. Lindy Tucker, who is here, has been recording sounds inside of crop circles for a number of years and analyzing them. And we have a recording there that I can play for you that basically goes like this. They got a couple of cops there and they're investigating this thing, and there's this beep, 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 beep kind of sound coming out of it. What is that? And the officer says, well, I'll show them, and pulls out his gun and boom! Beep, 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 beep. Interesting. So they seem to be communicating through sound as well. This is Aurora Fox, and I'm going to have. Can you find the other application there? The one that just get out of there for a moment and see if you can play Maybe Pam can help you there. It's like, anyway, what she does, we'll play this a little bit for you, and then we're going to shift over to Satya here. If you haven't heard Aurora play, it's a very interesting thing. She is classically trained, but what she does is she gets into a meditatively receptive mode. In this case, she takes a drop of, in this case, the Om essence we're talking about here, the essence of peace. She sits down at the piano, and Source plays the piano through her, creating classical music on the fly and playing it. And so what you'll hear here is what I would call the sound of peace. And this was generated last Sunday at Namaste. Can you find it, Pam?
No.
Okay, I may have to rescue here. Hold on.